Welcome back everyone to the Blender Creator course, Stylized 3D Model, and this is where we left it off. Alright then, so what we want to do now is let's do these first because these will be easy. So if I press 1, I'm going to press Shift D, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this one down, press S and Z, I'm going to press Shift D, bring it down to here, S and Z, and make it a little bit different like so. Now let's come to this one. We can see we've got a little bit of an angle on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift D, bring it down. I'm going to press RZ 90, spin it round, and then S and Z, make it a little bit different, like so. And then S and Z, and a little bit of randomness, like you can see. So what we're looking for here really is randomness. So Shift D, let's bring this one down, and then let's press S and Z, bring it up, like so. And then this one, let's press Shift D, bring it down, S and Z, and then Shift D, bring it down, and we'll leave that one at the same. All right, so you can see now we've got some pretty nice blocks. They're all very, very different. The maybe, I'm just gonna have a look and see if these ones are a little bit too thick. So let's press S and Z, make them a little bit thinner, like so. All right, now let's deal with these. Now with these, we can't do the same thing as you can see. And the reason is because these are angled and we don't want them angled going down. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to grab each of these. I'm going to press Tab and then I'm going to come in, grab each of these faces. I'm going to press Shift D, bring them down. I'm going to press P, selection, to separate them. And then I'm going to press Tab, re-grab them again. Press Tab, A to grab them, E, bring them down like so. All right, so now we can start work on this one. So as well, I might as well reset the transform. So Control A, all transforms, right click, so origins, geometry, and now I can work with each one of these. So I'm just going to press S and Z, Shift D, S and Z, like so, and then Shift D, I'll leave that one like that, and then S and Z, like so, and then with this one, I'm going to press Shift D, and then Shift D, like so, and then with this one, let's do it a little bit different. So S and Z, put it here, and then Shift D, put this one maybe here, and then S and Z, like so, and maybe we'll put one more in there as well, like so. Something like that I think looks absolutely fine. All right, so now let's do these all together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab each of my logs. I'm going to hide those out of the way. And now I've got just these blocks left, which means I can grab them all with A now. Press Control A, all transforms, right click, it's origins, geometry. And then what we can do is now we can come in and we can bring in a bevel modifier. So if I click on one of them, I can go to Add Modifier, Generate Bevel. I can then turn this down to 0, turn it up to 0.1 or 0.2. Let's have a look. Will that look better? Now at this point, it's probably better off bringing in a new shader. So let's see if we do that. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press A just on this one. Sorry, not A. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this one on its own. Press Tab, A to grab it all, and then U, Smart UV Project, click OK. Then what I'm going to do is now I'm going to come back to my shading panel. Not my shading panel, Asset Manager. And then what I'm going to do now, I'm looking for dark stone. So this one here, I want to drop dark stone on there. Let it load up. It says compiling shaders. So just let that load up. It's going to take a little bit of time. And there we go. All right. So this is the actual block. And I think what we should do before doing anything else is we should actually go over to shading now and just have a look at how this actual shader is made up. So we can see again, it starts with the texture nodes. We've got the 4 texture nodes, the color, the metallic, the roughness, and finally the normal. You can see the normal's been set to 1 because we don't really, if we turn this up, you will see if we put this onto cycles, that it's not going to do a real lot to it, as you can see. Not really going to do a lot because there's not a lot in this of the stone. In other words, it's pretty flat anyway. Now we can see that we're leading to, from the color, we've got a noise in there. So if I can see, if I want to plug just this in, you'll see what happens. So plug this in, you'll see this is the color it should be. So this is the color when it came in. But what I've done is I've actually come and brought some noise in. So I brought in a noise texture and I've actually used a color ramp to distribute the noise around the texture we already had. And finally then, we have an RGB curve which will dictate the overall darkness or lightness, as you can see, of the overall texture. So let's just put that back. And then we've got this, as you can see, the color ramp, and we can see that brings in these basic colors there. And finally, it plugs in to the base color, and everything else is pretty much the same. Now, I think actually, as this has come in like this, it's actually looking pretty nice as it is. I don't think we should actually really have to change anything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab all of these. So I'm going to press A. I'm going to press Tab. I'm going to press A on them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press U, Smart UV Project, click OK, like so. And then finally what I'm going to do is now I'm going to copy all of these. So if I press Tab again, I've got this one highlighted, press Ctrl L, link materials, and there we go. Now we have materials and all of these. Now the one problem that you can see is all of these, apart from this one, are beveled, so we need to bevel them. So I'm going to press A, grab this one finally, so shift select this one, press Ctrl L, and we're going to copy modifiers like so. And now finally what we want to do is we want to grab them all, and we want to make sure that they are moved out a little bit. So if we go to mesh, come down to transform, we're going to go to randomize, and then all I'm going to do is open up this randomize and turn it down to 0.2 or 0.1. Let's have a look at 0.2. And let's put it on 0.1 maybe. And I think 0.1 is going to mean that we don't end up with any broken parts. So sometimes with the randomize, you might end up with some broken parts. Let's actually have a look at that. We can go back and do this again anyway. So just press Tab, double tap the A, and just have a look at what that looks like. And actually, I think that's looking pretty good at 0.2. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab them all. I'm going to right click, Shade Auto Smooth, double tap the A, and there we go. Now let's make sure that we're happy with how this grain is on the actual stone. And I think I am. I think it looks pretty good. Let's press Alt H, bring back everything else, double tap the A, and there we go. That is what we're left with. And you can see they are looking pretty nice. All right, so let's go back to modeling. And then what we'll do is now we need to join all of these together. So if I grab all of these and join them together, the one problem that you've got is the fact that you've got a bevel on there means that when you join them together, it's going to inherit. So in other words, the amount here is 0.02 and the amount 0.01, the amount here is 0.02. If I join these all together, it means that it's going to inherit the bevel value, and I don't want that. So unfortunately on these, what I need to do is I need to actually apply the bevel. So normally it's called non-destructive modeling, and what that means is you're basically building things and leaving on the modifiers. You're not actually applying them, and what that does is it saves you actually a lot of memory, and you can actually come back and edit things as you want to. So it's important, if you can, to actually work non-destructively. But on this occasion, we're actually going to have to be destructive and actually apply these modifiers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of these. So I'm just going to go over the top. I'm going to press B to grab them all. And instead of going in and applying them one by one on the modifiers, all I'm going to do is I'm going to come to Object. I'm going to come down to where it says Convert. I'm going to convert to Mesh. And now you'll see that everything gets applied on for us already. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to come to each of these, like so, and we want to press Ctrl J and join everything together because we want them to be complete posts. So Ctrl J, and now you'll see when I move this, it's all actually joined together. So let's join them all up. So Ctrl J, G, just to make sure. Join them all up. Ctrl J, G to make sure. And now we'll just finish these others off. Now we've pretty much got here, except for our wall, everything we're going to need to build out this actual building done right here. Apart from, you know, the planks, the roofs, things like that. We've pretty much so got everything set up and ready. Because the best thing is about all of these parts, we can rotate them. So you're going to get even more variation from these. So Ctrl J, G, like so. Now let's grab them all. Let's press Ctrl A or transforms, and let's right click and set origin to geometry, and there we go. All right, so they are looking good. Now the one thing that we need to test out, if I come to this one, I'm going to put a, so we've got modular parts in here. we need to bring in then a new one. So this is wooden blocks. So the next one I'm going to call new. And you can see now we've got a new one under there, but I don't actually want it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete that one actually. I'm going to grab modular parts, right click, new. And now we've got one down here. And we're going to call this wooden supports, like so. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the first one. I'm going to call it wooden support. And it's a straight one. You can see these are angled and these are straight on the top of them. So we'll call it straight. And then we'll call it one, like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this into there. I'm going to press 1 on my number pad just so I've got a straight view. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press right click and I'm going to mark as asset. And there we go. Now it's marked as asset. So now if I go over to my asset manager, I should be able to come to, we've got wooden blocks here as you can see. Where is it? Unassigned, nothing in unassigned. And the reason is because, is it in my user library, current file? There we go. All right, so let's now make a new one. So I'm going to click plus. I'm going to call it wooden supports, like so, unassigned. Let's drop this now into my wooden supports, like so. Now, if I open this up, because of where my orientation is it going to put it flat for me? And the answer is yes. It's going to put it right down on the floor, like so, which is absolutely perfect. And that's exactly what I want. All right, so let's leave that out of the way. Now we know that works. What we can do is we can come to where our wooden support is straight. I can copy this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it from where it says 1, so just before. So I'm going to press Control C. I'm going to go then to this one, Control V, and then 2, and then Control V, 3, and then finally Control V, 4. And now we're going to go to our others. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this one first. Control V, and instead of it being straight, I'm going to call it angle. Copy that part, and then I'm just, in fact, I'll put space and then copy that part, and then I can put 1, and then I can go to the next one, 2, and then finally these other 2, and you get the point now. So 3, and this one, 4, like so. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of these and I'm going to drop them in my wooden supports, like so. And then what I'm going to do now is right click, mark as asset. And I'm hoping unassigned. Yeah, they've all got in and they all look right, as you can see. All right, so let's grab all of these, put them in our wooden supports like so. In there. And there we go. So we've got wooden blocks, wooden supports. And there we go. Now what we want to do is you want to drag these over here. Put them with your other parts. Let's grab this one as well. Like so. And then we can start building these up. Okay, there we go. Now, the final part that we want to really have is a wall. And we just want to have a wall just so it's set ready for us. We're going to have to change all the walls. And we don't want to make hundreds of different walls. So what we want to do is we just want a wall that's set out ready where we can just move the UVs over. And we can, you know, put broken parts in them and things, but we definitely need a wall to start because it is going to make it easier for us. So what we'll do is we'll just create one wall. So I'm going to press Shift A. I'm going to bring in a plane. I'm going to spin this round then. So R, X, 90, spin it round. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and line it up to be somewhere around the right size. So we can see there it's going to need stretching out and things. I'm going to stretch it out a little bit. Like so. So that then can be our wall. Now on the next lesson, all we'll do is we'll get some shader and material on this, and then we're ready to actually go and start building the main part of this out. All right, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're excited for the next lesson, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.